Hey guys, redchopsticks here. Let's talk about video game bosses. We are all familiar with bosses, and while we have many discussions on what counts as a boss, we usually have three categories with them. The memorable, the annoying, and finally, the easy. And guess which one we're going to talk about this time? Okay, whoever said the first two, get out and get some glasses. We're looking at easy bosses. Now, an easy boss is not a bad thing. A lot of bosses can be considered easy, but they can also be fun as well. But there are some bosses that got a lot of hype for, and when you finally beat them, you had one thing to say. Was that it? And we're here to talk about the top 10 easiest ones. But before we begin, just a few things to keep in mind. First off, one character per franchise. There are several bosses like in Mario and Final Fantasy that are very easy bosses, but we're only taking a look at one. Second, you might have a different opinion on what counts as a boss. For example, do you count Bowser from the original Mario Bros. Game on the NES a boss? I've seen some people that said yes and no, and to me, I really don't, but hey, you might, so that's okay, keep in mind, it's all opinion. And finally, no first level bosses. They are made to be easy, and it just seems cheap to add them. With these in mind, let's begin. Go ahead and run in place to work up a sweat, cause these next bosses won't make you break one. These are the top 10 easiest bosses in video games. The Joker from Batman's Arkham Asylum. Arkham Asylum is an amazing game. Playing as Batman, you try to recapture the Joker as he takes over Arkham Asylum and stops several other criminals from escaping the island. Arkham Asylum has a few bosses, and well, some are simple, some are creative in one way, and others But the easiest and the most disappointing moment in the game is its final boss. After fighting several inmates, supervillains, and every now and then answering a nasty riddle, you finally meet the Joker. Now, what should have been an awesome fight with the Joker meeting you toe-to-toe, dodging your attacks, and even have the powers to stun you, turns out to be nothing more than a simple bullfight. The Joker decides to Hulk himself up and become the Titan Joker, and all you have to do is dodge his attacks, fight his minions, like you've been doing this entire game, pull him down, and punch him a few times. Do this 3 times and you beat the game. It's hard to say if his battle is easy or disappointing. His attacks are very simple and easy to read, they don't do a whole lot of damage, especially if you've been upgrading yourself during this game, and his minions are all the same. Nothing new, and the biggest problem is, it's the Joker. This is the guy who's been taunting you since minute 1 of the game. So when you finally get the Joker, to see this as the final boss just turns out to be way too easy.
Ready for the next round?
Flashman from Megaman 2. Now I should mention this is not the only easy boss in the Megaman franchise. Bosses like Toadman and Splashwoman are very easy, if not more, but to many of us, Flashman was the first one we noticed as an easy boss. His stage is nothing special, and even designed to dodge several battles with other minions, and when you finally get to Flashman, there's nothing special about him. His idea is pretty cool, the ability to freeze time for a few seconds and attack, making him appear to move in a flash of light, but it's not that well done. When you hit him with your Mega Buster, he jumps in the air, making ramming damage the only thing you have to worry about. He's not that strong, his health bar can quickly go away, and he has aim that stormtroopers would say is bad. This battle can even go faster with Metal Man's Metal Blades, taking him down in 4 hits. It's even faster when you meet him again. Yes, this game makes you fight all the Robot Masters again, it's a cliche we're all familiar with. You can beat him without even moving.
What happened? I blinked and missed it.
Tubba Blubba from Paper Mario. This classic N64 game has a lot of fun bosses. Up until Chapter 3, bosses in the game have been rather simple, but there was enough uniqueness to them that made them fun as well. Tubba Blubba was a boss that was built up, but the results? Underwhelming. The first time you hear about Tubba Blubba is with Peach gathering information about stars. Play the game, it explains more. It's clear that Tubba Blubba has gained the title Invincible, but you only find that out because Bowser removed his heart. With this in mind, you head over to where his heart is and you fight him. After a tough battle, the heart runs away and reunites with his body, and now Tubba Blubba feels more powerful, and you finally battle him, with an attack power of 4, and his HP a whopping 10? I don't think invincible means what I think it means anymore. This boss battle is easy. With his HP so low, he can easily be defeated in one turn. 2 max! For all that build-up he got, he was as tough as a Goomba. Ion from Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem's bosses go from a scale from simple to generally harder. At first you battle bandit leaders only needing the right weapon to beat them, but then it goes to bosses that require the right units in the right area and planned strategies. And then you have Ion. On your way to the Dragon Gate, you have the option to go on an extra chapter where Ion guards the path. At first, Ion seems like he's gonna be trouble. He's a level 4 sage with the attack Bolt, which has a long range. Okay, it also has 5 uses and a low accuracy, but still, it can be threatening. So for the first few turns you're moving your units around, mostly avoiding the range of Bolt, until a magic seal comes by. The bad news is, because of this seal, you can't use any magic. The good news is, no one can use any magic, including the boss. Because of this seal, this means Ion cannot attack at all, and with already low defense points, my main question wasn't who can take a hit, my main question was who needs to level up. Now to be fair, this boss battle is only easy because of luck. But I don't care, a battle's a battle, I'll take those experience points, thank you. Old King Cole. Banjo and Kazooie has faced many bosses, but it's kinda hard to say what does count as one, except for the final one of course. But Old King Cole is considered the easiest of the bunch. While in the Glitter Glutch mines, in order to use the trains you must battle Old King Cole. And at first he seems like he's gonna be a tough boss. He's a bean made entirely out of coal. And then you find out how easy he is. There are huge black pieces of coal that are safe for Banjo to stand on, avoiding his heat attack and his charge attack. And because of his huge body, he's an easy target for your eggs to hit, and his body slowly falls apart from all the damage he takes. This fight can even go faster with ice eggs or even grenade eggs, causing extra damage every time he gets hit. But I will say this much for Old King Cole, he doesn't know when to quit. I wonder if he's related to the Black Knight.
Now stand aside, worthy adversary.
'Tis but a scratch.
A scratch? Your arm's off.
No, it isn't.
Well, what's that then?
I've heard worse.
You liar!
Come on, you pansy.
Cloud and Candy from Yoshi's Story. Yoshi's Story is perhaps one of the cutest games I've ever played. It's just so cute, fun, and colorful. How can you not like it? On your way to reclaim the super fun Happy Tree, it's a thing, it seems like a simple journey. But when you get to page 3-1 after collecting all the fruit you need, you don't go to your score screen, you go somewhere else. Your music changes, the screen dissolves, and Yoshi doesn't seem to like what's coming. What could it possibly be?
Is that someone else behind you by any chance?
Nope, this is it, Cloud and Candy. And yes, his name speaks for his entire body. He's a cloud that tastes like candy. He's very easy to beat, all you have to do is just lick him to death. And that's it. In order to make him some sort of a challenge, the smaller Cloud and Candy gets, the faster he goes, giving you a small chance to hurt you, but all you have to do is lick him up again to heal up. I gotta say, this is gonna be a very embarrassing funeral. I hope they don't put on the tombstone, licked to death. The Anglerfish from Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. The Zelda franchise has seen easy bosses before, but none like the Anglerfish. In Link's Awakening, during the 4th dungeon, you actually pick up flippers which allow you to swim in the water, so naturally, the boss features around that item as well. In enters the Anglerfish. And there he goes. There's really nothing to say about this boss. He's got a very big obvious weak spot, he's very slow, and his attacks are very predictable. And all those tiny little fish, they don't come after you. They just swim by, not even caring. This battle can even go twice as fast if you have a piece of power with you, making all your damage be twice as much. When the dungeon itself gives you more of a challenge than the boss itself, you're doing something wrong. Speaking of underwater bosses, Evra Altana from Final Fantasy X. Okay, before I talk about this boss battle itself, let me mention what happened before. You had to battle this thing in the sky with an airship, planning your attacks from close range to long range attacks to avoid attacks and to strike. You had your whole party with you, you had an airship to fire missiles, and this guy was still difficult to beat. Now when you meet this thing again, you don't have your airship, you're underwater, and your party consists of a guy you want to punch every single time you see him, a blitzball jock, and jailbait over here. Now this should have been a very nervous battle to get into, and how do you beat him?
Just toss a Phoenix down on next potion. That's it.
Now yes, before you begin, you can trap this thing and avoid battling, but you'll miss out on 2 really good items that you can find. And yes, before you mention, a zombie boss is not new to Final Fantasy. In Final Fantasy VII you had Gi Naktak, and in 8 you had the fake president. But to be fair, Phoenix Downs can actually miss with the Gi, and the fake president turned out to be a deformed monster in case the rebels took over the train. What? It could happen. But in 10, this boss got a little bit of build up, and it turns out you can beat it all in 2 turns. How sad. The Golem Overlord from Chrono Trigger. The Golem Overlord seems like he's going to be a tough boss. I mean, just look at him. This thing is creepy, like something that came out of my nightmares. And while you face this monster, he starts counting backwards from 5, preparing for this all-out powerful attack. My god, what could it be? Absolutely nothing. Yeah, all of that build-up and leading to nothing. You can easily just wail on the Golem for easy experience points. And get this, you don't even have to fight him. It turns out that if you wait long enough, the Overgolem will turn tail and run, all because he's afraid of heights. Well, I'm so glad he decided to attack us on the Blackbird. This thing never gets any height at all. Oh wait. And the number 1 easiest boss in video game is the Lambent Burmak of Gears of War 2. Okay, if you want to talk about a lot of build up and little pay, look no further than the Lambent Burmak. This thing is a mutated version of the Burmak. This thing goes several stories tall, with a head splitting open with another one coming out, and all these other things coming out of its body. And this is the final boss of Gears of War 2. And it is the easiest boss yet. The only way you're going to beat this boss is with the Hammer of Dawn. And oh look, this chopper happens to have one. But if only there was some clear sky so the laser can strike. Oh look, we got that too! What a coincidence! And one of this chopper has chocolate and wine as well. All you have to do in this battle is just hold the trigger button until you get the ending. All this build up and you hardly have to do anything. In fact, I don't even think you can die from this boss. It hardly ever attacks, and if it does, I'm not quite sure if it's part of the story or if it's an actual attack. Now I know what you're thinking. Where's Sephiroth? He's the final boss in Final Fantasy VII, and he's by far easier. And yes, you do have a point. In the final battle with Sephiroth, he comes in human form and Cloud beats him with an Omni Slash. Or counterattacks automatically, it doesn't really matter. True, but hear me out. This final battle does seem to have a symbolic meaning along with the game. And also keep in mind, you battled 2 other forms of Sephiroth, which were even tough with knights in the round. And after dealing with so many Heartless Angel attacks, I will gladly take one last Omni Slash to end this.
I'm also a very huge Sephiroth fan, and I refuse to put him on this list, because I'm biased. Shut up.
But back to the Lambent. My point is, this is the final boss, the final battle, and it leads up to the easiest boss in video games. And all I had to do was hold the trigger button.